Okay, I think I've got this going now, and I'm recording. So if you guys will text in the chat window and let me know if you can hear me, or if you want to turn your microphone on and let me know that you can hear me okay, and we'll get started shortly.
I can hear you.
Oh, yay! So I guess, what makes the most sense for attendance today? Should I just have you type your name in the chat window? Will that work? And in case you guys don't see the chat window automatically, it is the third icon down from your avatar on the left-hand side. I'm also going to try something new this week. Last week I had my earbuds in so I could use the microphone on them. This week I'm just going to use the microphone on my MacBook so that when you guys speak, that will be recorded as well. That way anyone that misses today's session will be able to hear your comments and everything. That's important for those that aren't able to be with us today to hear the conversations that go back and forth. So
It's not lighting the camera. Right here. Still not. Nancy?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Marty and I are here. For some reason, it's not letting me turn our camera on. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
If you don't care, Hannah, just type your name and Marty's name in the chat window there, and then I can go back and look and see who was able to join us.
Okay, I'm on.
Alright. Lee, I saw your name pop up.
Yeah, I'm here. I just had to turn off that video. If you need, I can turn it back on, but who wants to look at that all day?
I don't need the cameras on if you guys are good.
You say what? Put them on?
No, I don't need them on.
Oh, okay.
And if you guys want, you can mute your microphone until you're ready to talk to me. That way we don't have feedback issues.
Off until we talk.
We'll get this figured out.
Hannah, I'm on the phone because I see my person, right? That's me.
Hey Melanie, I don't know if you can see the chat window or not, but if you'll just type your name in the chat window, and then also if you'll mute your microphone until you want to talk. That way we don't have the feedback issues. guys. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to throw my screen up here for you guys, just because I'm looking really fine today. So let's look at the haiku page instead. There we go. I hope you guys had a chance to look at the 16 Habits of Mind. Did any of those stick out for you guys in particular? Something that you wanted to work on maybe over the next couple of months? You can either type in the chat window, or if you want to just tell the group, then you can turn your mic back on and talk to us. One thing that I personally want to work on is managing impulsivity. So I'm usually pretty quick to react, so I want to work on that some. So that's one of the 16 habits of mind that I've tried to be more conscious and more aware of taking place as I interact with folks. So a few of you went ahead and read the text that was going to be assigned this week, and that's perfectly okay. When I open those sessions up, you're welcome to go ahead and work through them if you want to. There will be 2 weeks between this class meeting and our next class meeting, so you have 2 weeks to work on the assignment, do the read the text, and then do your reflection. Remember to, as folks are posting their own reflections, to look over those, and if you can add something to their comments, please do. You are required to at least respond to one other colleague's post, but you're not limited to that. You're welcome to respond to a couple or more if you would like. So today's session, we're going to be talking about the different online tools that are out there. We're also going to be looking into our PLNs, or our professional learning networks, and what exactly those are, and how we can build our own learning experience, and work with colleagues not only in our district, but those that are in our state, and even nationally and internationally. The text that we're using, if you have read it, is a collection of teachers' experiences as they have started or are currently implementing the use of digital tools in their instruction with students. I felt that it was a good text to start off this online professional development with, because it's real world. You guys get to hear it from other teachers. You get to hear their experiences, and I'm sure as you are implementing or have implemented, you have run into some of the same scenarios as they have. So I just felt like it was a good text to go along with what we're trying to do here. Oh yes, Jessica, thinking flexibly. Okay, go ahead and speak, Hannah.
Nancy,
Yeah,
is your page actually showing the haiku page?
it is. Yes, I don't have my face up there.
Okay, I didn't log in through Chrome. I'm going to log back out and log back into Chrome.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Nope, that's fine.
Nancy,
Yeah.
how do I get rid of my picture and just put one of those little cute things like you guys have?
Oh, okay. So at the top of your Jitsi screen there, Gwen, you should see a microphone, a camera, and then like a monitor screen. If you'll click on that camera, it's like a video camera icon. If you click on that, you should have the option to stop showing, to turn your
Then
camera
click
off.
on always block camera and microphone access, or just block?
You can block, let's see. Like if you just
Gwen,
click
just
the
leave
camera.
your picture up.
Yeah, I know, she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
If you just click on the camera, it should turn you into an avatar.
Alright.
No,
Not turning into an avatar. You could be a
Let's
pink
see.
marshmallow like me. I'd like that better. It's that weird. It won't let me do anything.
I don't think I can turn your camera off.
Also, like, if you want to talk, where is the box? I mean, if you don't want to talk, if you want to type, where is that box?
It is the third icon down from what should be your avatar on the left-hand side. It's like a little open-close chat is what it says.
Okay.
And to turn your camera off, Gwen, you should just be able to stop your camera. I don't see you now, Gwen, so hopefully you're still...
Gwen, what do you look like?
What's your avatar, Gwen? Shannon, are you the pink, frumpy-looking marshmallow?
Yes, I'm the pink marshmallow. I had to click on my pink marshmallow and put my screen name, and that's when it changed to me.
Oh, okay. Gwen may need to do that. Hannah, did you make it back with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Alright, so, Gwen, are you still with me? Hopefully Gwen will make it back to us. Well, we'll just continue on and hope that she makes it back. Shannon, let me know if she texts you and is having trouble, okay?
I'll text her.
Alright, thank you.
Do you hear me now?
I
I
do.
hear you. Yeah, we hear you. Alright.
Perfect. Okay, so anyway, we're going to be talking about our PLN, which is a professional learning network. There is some information on the right-hand side for you guys to view later on. The video does a great job of explaining how to create your own professional learning network, and this is something that's very, it's personalized, so the things that you are interested in learning about are the things that you would follow. You would collaborate with other teachers, other folks out there in education that are maybe working on some of the same things you are. Much like the PLCs, which I found out last week were not taking place this year, so it's kind of a broader PLC. Does anyone have any questions just on the basics of what a PLN is, or if you're already involved in a PLN, are there like certain blogs that have been beneficial to you? For example, I follow Edutopia. I subscribe to their blog. They have a lot of great stuff for education, both at the administrator level, at the classroom teacher level, instructional coaching, those things. And there are a lot of good resources that come through their blog. So normally when I get on Edutopia, I end up down a rabbit hole because one story leads to another story, which leads to another story that really, hold on just a second. Brittany, you may want to reboot your machine. Yeah, Adele, following them on Twitter is great. I actually don't do Twitter. It's a little fast-paced for me, so I do use Facebook. So what I'll do is I'll follow these educational bloggers on Facebook, and then it just shows up through my feed kind of at a slower pace for me. Twitter's just a little too fast-paced for me. I can't keep up with everything that's going on. And there's so much out there. I mean, really, it's definitely your personal preference on what you use social media-wise to follow and participate in these things. Edutopia, if you create an account with them, which is free, you can sign up for their newsletters and their blogs, and they'll send you stuff like weekly or monthly, something like that. Every once in a while it shows up in my email, and if I have time I'll click on it and then follow up with some of the articles later. So, do you guys use social media for work-related stuff? That would be like Twitter, Facebook, Google Plus.
Nancy.
Yeah.
This is Hannah. Jessica and I've subscribed to Utopia also, and they like WordPress, which is a blog. So Jessica and I have our own WordPress blog for the parents, and we post pictures on there, and they actually have to have a password to be able to view the pictures, and they comment on them and different things. But Miss Reese used to have a school-wide WordPress blog when she was here.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really good.
And I use Instagram just to follow teachers just to get ideas.
Right. Yeah, Pinterest is a very close friend of mine.
Pinterest is the devil. There's some really good ones on Facebook too, like Teacher Outside the Box is a really good one. She does a whole lot of STEM bins.
Yes.
Really great things like that integrate like AIG stuff along with the regular classroom stuff, which helps like when the kids finish early, it gives them something to do.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, Pinterest is one of those rabbit holes as well. I can end up 3 hours later coming out of Pinterest, but it's got some great resources for makerspaces or STEM activities as well. these are all great tools. So let's do one of the activities in the content block here. I'm going to pull up the Padlet, and you guys, if you don't have a Padlet account, you might have to create one, but I think I've got this open so that you won't have to. Let's see. Okay. How many of you have used Padlet? I use Padlet a lot too, Adele. I use it as a curation tool. So as I'm finding websites that I want to go back and revisit, I'll just create like a Padlet for those resources. Yes, the kids love Padlet. So if you on your machine will click on the Padlet icon on the Haiku page, it should open up this Padlet, and I want you to, the question on the Padlet is, what digital tools are your students using for presentations? So you can add your comments to the Padlet. Shadow puppet, nice. Let's see, Prezi. Lots of good stuff going up there. So you guys will have access to this also later on to view. There are some great resources coming up here. Someone put YouTube on there. Have you you use that for presenting information, or do you have your students create videos and then upload them to YouTube? Oh, kids make their own videos. Haiku wikis. I am not familiar with the wiki part in Haiku, so maybe, who uses the Haiku wikis?
I do. It's Brittany.
I thought that was you, Brittany. How do you use those? Do you use those with your students for discussions, or?
Well, you can add discussion boards. They basically can do anything that teachers can do on Haiku.
Awesome.
And so for their World War II project, they were adding videos, images, just typing information that they found. But they loved working with it.
Nice.
I love using Haiku wikis too.
Yeah.
My kids use it for making their own math problems and sharing them with the rest of the kids in the class.
Oh, that's very nice. I want to see that. I want to see it in action. Maybe you guys can share some of your projects with me.
Sure.
On that. Or I guess, Brittany, I could check my child's Haiku and see what he's got going on.
Yeah, they've done it twice now. They did a trial run with Project 1065, and they really love getting to be the teacher.
Nice. So, what prompted you to? Have you used the wikis before, Brittany?
This year is my first year letting them use it on their own. In the past, I have let them work in groups because you can customize the pages, and it's just a good way, I think, for them to work in groups and be able to see who was putting what online, see what they're doing.
Cool. So, how comfortable with wikis in general were you before you felt like you were going to be okay to start using it with your class?
Whenever it comes to online stuff, I just like to play around with it a little bit to see how I can use it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if I feel like I can pick it up and do it quickly within a day, I usually have one student who can stay after school or in tag one day and let me see their MacBooks and how it looks on their end. And we just do a trial run with a few students and then do it with the whole class later on if it works well.
Okay. That's a good strategy. Is that normally how you approach implementing new digital tools in your class? And the reason I'm asking this is part of that first section of the text that you'll be reading if you haven't already read it. And overcoming that first step of implementing it can sometimes be the biggest and hardest step for teachers. So it's good to hear how other folks are implementing tools and share those experiences with one another. So you guys have put up some great resources here. Like I said, you'll have continued access to this Padlet. Let's go ahead and move on to the next tool, which is Poplet. And let me put that up here for you. Okay. Poplet and Padlet, I've seen them used more at the elementary level, but they are definitely things you can use with middle and high school as well. If you do not have a Poplet account, you will have to create one in order to edit this Poplet. But the question for this resource is, what are you using to collaborate with your colleagues? Or how do your students work collaboratively? And I'll give you guys a few minutes to get in and add your remarks to that Poplet. If you click on the login button, it should take you to a sign up screen, and either you have the login information or underneath it, I believe it says something about creating an account. And yes, Shannon and Gwen are really burning up the seesaw, let me tell you. They are using that in their class, and I think that they're having great success with it. Oops. Hold on, looks like my pop-up's having trouble. Are you guys having any success getting on Poplet? Okay. Yeah. Alright, well, I can't determine if it's an issue on our end or their end, but we will try to revisit that later on. So for now, we'll just go on to the next one, which is Google Docs. Okay, so if you haven't already, go ahead and click on the Google Doc. We'll try to come back to Poplet in a little bit if it ever gets a hold of itself here. And some folks had already added some items to the Google Doc. I love Google Docs. The screen got really tiny. Let me try it again. There it is. I don't know if Ann Avery is with us right now or not, but I love that. I use Google everything also, Ann. And Google Docs, I mean, they do have apps, so our elementary teachers, you can definitely use this on the iPads, and it is a great tool for collaboration. I love it. Love all the comments going up there. While you guys are commenting, I'm going to try your name's not showing up on the Google Doc. Can you see the Google Doc, Teresa?
Yes, Nancy, I can see it, but my name's not listed up there in the class. On the side, when you do the pull-down menu, it says 12 total viewers. My name's missing.
Oh, I can see you.
You can see my name?
Yep.
I'm not seeing it. Okay. Let me see if I can type then.
Okay. Well, you guys work on that. Yeah, you're typing. I see you, Teresa.
I'm giving my name a color. Okay. All right.
Let's see if I can get this screen to go bigger again. Kathy Burleson. Poplet errors made you give up on posting there. Yes, Jessica. Sometimes they do erase each other's work. Amy, there are a ton of things first graders can do with Google Docs, so definitely need to hook you up with it. Absolutely, Hannah. I don't know if you have tried using the Team Drive. It's something new that Google added just this school year. And basically, if you have team teachers that you work with, you just set up a Team Drive for that particular group, and you can put all of your resources in there, and everyone has access to those tools. So let's see. Gwen, I think you're showing up as yes on my screen. Are you able to see the Google Doc? I introduced Team Drive at Banner Elk around Christmas time, and it is just an awesome way for your specials classes to work collaboratively with your classroom teachers so that they can corroborate their lessons with your current curriculum. So I try to use it with them at Banner Elk for maker spaces. Okay, you may want to restart your machine, Gwen. Lots of great comments on the Google Doc. So those are just 3 tools, and like you see, Poplet gave us issues. So that flexibility of tools, it's good to have a go-to, but it's also good to be flexible and know that there are multiple tools out there that all basically do the same thing. So it's good to know a couple of versions of the tool so that if one of them consistently gives you issues, you have something to fall back on. Plan A and Plan B. So under those icons, there are links to websites that will provide you with information on online collaboration, presentation tools, the digital citizenship. Oh my goodness, this thing. Let me make the screen big again. Hold tight. I'm really piecemealing a bunch of things together to make this work, so there we go. So you guys can look at those tools on your own. They're just some links that I thought would be helpful. On the right hand side though, one thing that I would like for you to take a look at later on, not necessarily right this minute, is this matrix. The Florida Center for Instructional Technology, they created this interactive matrix, and it allows teachers to kind of assess where they currently are in their teaching practices using digital tools and technology, and it kind of gives you tips and tricks and some sample lesson plans to help you build on your experiences. So it's just a really cool little tool, and like I said, it is interactive, so you can find where you are, where you think you are on the matrix, and you can click the next step to see tips on how you could take your game to the next level. So this next little section here are group meeting rooms, and I'm going to get to those in just a second. The way those meeting rooms are designed is so that if you are not physically with people that are going to be in your group for the assignment, you guys can use these group meeting rooms. They are Jitsi rooms. And in order to use them, if we use them right now, you would have to close out of this Jitsi Meet and then go into Haiku, and if you were all in group 1, you would click the group 1 link, and then you would open up your own Jitsi Meet for you as a group. So first we'll discuss the assignment, and then you guys can team up, and then if you don't have a group to work with, we can get you into a group. So the assignment that you will be working on for the next 2 weeks is to create a lesson plan that or a classroom activity, not necessarily a lesson plan, but you could turn it into a lesson plan, that has students create a public service announcement. So it could be on a community issue, it could be on a global issue, it could be on an environmental issue, a political issue. Just, there are so many different things out there, health issues, that you could have students create a public service announcement. Now, what, I can't seem to get into the, hold on just a second, let me open up Haiku and read the description on the assignment itself. Okay. So the assignment is to create a classroom activity that requires, and you can do it either as groups or individual projects, to create a public service announcement that brings awareness to, I put an environmental issue here, but if you have some other discussion point that you would like for students to discuss in your curriculum, then please feel free to change from environmental issue to whatever pertains to your curriculum. One of the requirements, though, is that there should be at least 3 options for students to choose from with the digital tools. So there are a lot of things out there. They could do videos, they could create a podcast, they could create an infographic, they could create an infomercial, a slideshow. Just, there are thousands of different ways that students could submit this assignment. So you may work as a group on this assignment. When you get ready to turn your assignment in, whoever is in your group will need to turn in a copy of this assignment. So, for example, if Hannah, Marty, Corey, and Beth are in a group at Freedom Trail, each one of them needs to turn in, if they did a keynote, you can create the keynote together, but each one of you will need to turn in a copy of it. Does that make sense?
Nancy,
Yeah?
so we create it. The students don't have to create it, right?
No, the students, everything we do in this class, you guys will be creating.
Okay.
Now, it should be pertinent to what you do in your classroom, and these assignments that you are turning into me, you know, they should be something that you could really use in your classroom down the road.
Okay.
So, I'm going to let you guys pair up in your groups. You can have up to 4 people in a group. Shannon, I'm going to let you all decide if you want to, you know, do you, Lee, and Gwen want to team up, or would you like to work with someone at another school? Do you write up the activity lesson plan only, or do we make an example in a keynote or whatever? The lesson plan only is what I need, Lee. Okay, so Shannon, Lee, and Gwen are one group. Okay. And you guys can, okay, let's see.
Which group?
Let me write this down. I may not, depending on the size of your groups, I may have to go in and create a few more group rooms. But since you guys are physically at a school, you guys should be able to get together outside of class, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to say, if you need to use an online room, one of these virtual rooms, Shannon, Lee, and Gwen, you are group 1.
Oh, I see. So if we don't need to do it online, we can just meet in the building.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
So, Melanie, Karen, and Amy are a group. I'm writing these down, so take me just a minute. Correct, Melanie. You do not need to personally create the public service announcement. You will just create an assignment or a lesson plan with this activity in it.
Nancy?
Yes, that would be wonderful, Gwen.
Since I'm the only high school person, I'll just go ahead and do one with, I'll just do it maybe like a club and as well as a student. I'll do both. I'll just do it by myself.
Are you sure, Teresa? I mean, Mitch is goes between the high school and middle school, and Darlene Gibbs is at Avery Middle as well, if you wanted to team up with anyone.
Well, I'll do this first one by myself, and then I'll see.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, if
No problem.
you change your mind,
Okay.
let me know.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So, April and Marty, Jessica and Hannah. It would be wonderful if you could align the lesson plan with the text standards. Overall, I am aligning this assignment with the DLC standards. So, Brittany and Adele. Okay. Does this assignment make sense to you guys? Okay, cool. So, Gwen, if your kids do this a lot, do they normally just have like one option, or do you give them multiple tools to choose from? Nice. So, make sure you're stretching your legs and stepping outside of your comfort zone. If you have certain tools that you're used to using, now's the time to explore other tools to kind of get a feel for how those would be using. Yeah, the A+ components. Let's see, Cranberry, are you guys A+ as well? I thought so, yes. Okay. All right. So this assignment is not due for 2 weeks. Let me go back to, I think you guys understand the assignment fairly well. Okay, so our read and reflect section. I do need you guys to start the flipping the switch section of the text if you haven't already, and then post your reflections on the discussion board. I must say I loved reading the reflections yesterday that were posted, and I will respond to your reflections. All of these assignments are not due until our next class meeting, which is in 2 weeks. So March the 29th. The only thing that is due this week I need to have a copy of your Copyright 101 certificates. If you don't mind to upload those by midnight tomorrow. That was the only thing that's due by this week. Our next class will be March the 29th, and that's the Thursday before spring break. Yes, Corey, you may. And at that point, our class meeting will probably be 3:30 to 4:30 that afternoon. It'll be after school. When you turn in your assignment, if you wouldn't mind just to also give me a list of who you were working with in your group. Even though I know each one of you will be turning in the exact same assignment, just if you don't mind to add all of your group members' names to your assignment. Do you guys have any questions on any of the content that we've covered today? Or that we covered last week? Corey, April says you can work with her and Marty if you'd like.
Okay, I can do that.
Does anyone have anything they'd like to mention or comment on? If not, then I'm going to turn you guys loose. We almost made a whole hour of it this time, so if you do have any questions as you start working or reading, feel free to email me, or you can message me in Haiku, either one, and I will get with you on that. So if we are all good, all hearts and minds are clear, then we will go ahead and end this session. And I guess I will see you guys in 2 weeks, okay? March the 29th.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thanks, guys, for coming in on this snowy day. Y'all stay safe out there.